All right, Raider Nation. Unfortunately, the season is over for the Raiders. No more 2020 football. One game in 2021. Might I add, the Raiders are undefeated in 2021. But I want to give my instant reaction, I guess, to how the season went, the takeaways from it, the ups, the downs, and what it's going to take for this football team to get back on track in 2021, because what we're looking forward to now is free agency, the draft. Oh, let's not forget Charles Woodson and Tom Flores getting in the Hall of Fame. That's something big time we're looking forward to. Make sure you guys comment about that in the comment section. And if you're not, because we're going to be keeping this show going throughout the entire offseason, this channel is going to be rolling with free agent content. I'm going to have a bunch of different guests on. We're going to do live streams, Q&As, draft stuff. Lots of things ahead. So if you're not already subscribed, hit those bell notifications so you stay up to date and really get things rolling. But like I said, I want to get into this 2020 review. And at the end of the video, stay tuned because I want to tell you why these X-Firo, Bluetooth headphones are the headphones that you guys need to purchase using promo code RaiderCody for 15% off in the description. There'll be more details about these at the end of the video. But like I said, 2020 Raiders football is over. That's it. It's a wrap. But let's talk about it. Let's go. First things first, Darren Waller is an absolute stud, and that's cool that we can leave 2020 being able to argue that there's a player on our team that is probably the best of his position. Yeah, you kind of look at him and Travis Kelce. That's where the argument happens. But it's a dang good argument for us, and we can make our case as Darren Waller being the best tight end in the league. The only other player so far that we've really been able to make that case for so far is Rodney Hudson. Very underrated, Pro Bowl snub, obviously. But Darren Waller is an absolute gem for us, right? So going into this season, I guess, we had high expectations, as I'm going to for 2021 again, right? But what happened is the same thing that we saw in 2019, a late season collapse. Seeing 6-3, seeing 6-4, and then losing a good chunk of those next games. Not good. That's not what we wanted. And I'm not going to make excuses. But I'm going to tell you reasons why I think that happened. And a lot of it seemed to be health, which was the same in 2019. We had a lot of rotations going on out there in the secondary. We're playing musical chairs out there in the secondary. And just kind of the immaturity in the locker room, I think, led to this. The immaturity as in maybe not quite being prepared for games every Sunday. Maybe getting out there, maybe not taking this fully serious as a playoff run, because I'm not going to blame a player for getting COVID, but I think if you're serious enough, you can do your best. We could have did better at times to avoid it, because it seemed like almost every single week we were missing a player because of COVID. And you're not going to win football games down the stretch like that. The beginning of the season, we didn't have that issue, right? We had the fines, we had everything going on, but we didn't have the COVID cases. We didn't have things that were keeping players and coaches away from the football field on Sunday. So I would say between that and just even, we can talk about, you can get mad at the defense all you want, whatever. It is what it is. This team it stayed afloat from our offense. It stayed afloat from the deep ball. And what hurt us was our red zone offense, right? So those are things that we're going to be looking for in the offseason. Things that I know Jon Gruden is going to go back to the drawing board. Being able to see Bryan Edwards get out there on the field the last game of the year in 2020, make some plays. Hopefully he stays healthy. Hopefully we get things going there. Maybe no more Jason Witten next year, and we'll get Foster Morrow more in the red zone. Maybe that'll really help us in the red zone. Hopefully Jon can find a way to utilize targets and really take shots into the end zone whenever we get down that deep. Derek was a top 5 passer on targets over 20-plus yards down the field, but for whatever reason, we struggled in the red zone, and that's not okay. And a lot of that also had to do with our rushing attack, because for whatever reason, our run game really fell off at the end of the year. Seeing Josh being 3rd and 4th in rushing yards midway through the season, and then him staggering down to 6th and 7th, and just of the top 10 rushers, Josh had the earliest average point of contact. So he was getting hit first. His first contact was a lot earlier than any other of the top 10 rushers, and that's just, putting everything against him. That's making him really break free. I think it was an average of 1.09 yards or something like that from the line of scrimmage that he was getting hit every single play. And there was some top 10 rushers that were getting, the average was 2.5 yards, almost 3 yards after the line of scrimmage. They were getting their first point of contact. And if Josh had something like that, he'd be able to make a lot more of that. Of course, Josh Jacobs is something we're going to be watching this offseason, and I'm going to be waiting for more details to come out, but we're going to give Josh the benefit of the doubt, and hopefully we see number 28 out there all 16 games next year. ready to go, firing on all cylinders. So our secondary, like I said earlier, was playing musical chairs. And for whatever reason, one of our major issues was Jonathan Abram not being able to stay on the field. And I'm not going to say it's frustrating. I'm not going to act like I'm real mad about Jonathan Abram not being able to stay on the field, but I think there's going to be a time where he needs to evaluate his play style. And if that's the guy that he wants to be, if he wants to be a bruiser, you got to be able to be a bruiser and be out there every single snap of every single game. I'm tired of seeing him go down every single snap, along with Damon Arnett. Damon Arnett missed way too many snaps. Even Trayvon Mullen was missing more snaps than I wanted to. And that's something I think that's a product of a Paul Guenther scheme. For whatever reason, we like to, push everything outside. We want the ball carrier to bounce outside, and we're expecting, just like even Jon Gruden had said at one point in the season, our nickel corner, like LaMarcus Joyner, should be the leading tackler on our team. Why is that? No, it should be our linebackers, right? It should be our linebackers that are leading tacklers. We want those guys to be making the most tackles, not our corners, because that's just going to put their body in jeopardy, especially whenever you're playing some of the running backs nowadays. Looking at the defense, too, while we're there, two disappointing signings, I would say. Corey Littleton, who came on at the end of the year, and I still have a lot of hope for. I really do. Getting a different defensive coordinator in there, hopefully something that'll fire him up, something that will make you believe in things. Just like Will Compton said, you want a defensive coordinator that's going to make you believe in things. And of course, Malik Collins was a huge disappointment for me. I don't think he even had a sack or a tackle for loss this year, which is absurd because he had plenty of snaps, plenty of time on the field. Jon Gruden even said that our defense is only going to go as far as Malik Collins takes us. Didn't take us very far. They were our prized free agent signings, two guys that I was very high on, and they're very, very disappointing. So the passing attack, like I said, that's what kept us afloat. That's probably what even had us win 8 games. And the last bullet point that I'm going to say on this season really is Derek Carr is our franchise quarterback, and there's really no argument to that. I think he proved easily that he's a top 10 quarterback in this league. Going into 2021, he's going to be the 16th highest paid quarterback. 16, middle of the pack, right in the middle. He's the average paid quarterback right now in the NFL, right on the money, basically. And he's playing like a top 10 talent. So I'd expect after this year probably an extension for Derek Carr. If you don't like Derek Carr, sorry, hate to break it to you, but prepare for it. If you want to make any bets on that, you can visit mybookie.ag using promo code RaiderCody. They'll match 50% of your first deposit if you want to make any bets on stuff like that. Mybookie.ag. And keep that in mind for the playoffs, guys. I know we're out of playoffs this year, but you can get in on playoff action. I'm not one that likes to bet on the Raiders just because of my bad luck, and it never goes my way. It doesn't work out for me, but getting into the playoffs, getting into the Super Bowl, getting into things like that, taking maybe the Bills over the Chiefs, that's what we want. I myself am looking for a Bills-Packers Super Bowl, but we'll see how that goes. Now, getting into this offseason, and I'm gonna get more in depth, but I want to hit on some bullet points that I'm gonna be looking for going into this offseason. And my first key is gonna be re-signing Nelson Agholor. Re-sign Nelson Agholor. He was our best wide receiver, not named Darren Waller. In the wide receiver room, Nelson Agholor saved the day, and this offense wouldn't be near what it was without number 15 out on the field. Also, re-sign Nicholas Morrow. Nicholas Morrow came out a stud this year in a struggling linebacker room, even through the Paul Guenther phase. Played great. I think he's going to be a good linebacker down the stretch. Dude has done nothing but work hard to earn every single snap that he got this year. Also, re-sign Denzel Good. That's going to give us the flexibility of maybe a Richie Incognito or a Gabe Jackson if we want to do something else with their contracts, especially with John Simpson coming out and playing good this year. I want to look to add veterans in our secondary. And there's a lot of ball hawking center fielders, veteran guys that are hitting the free agent market this year. Cough, cough, Justin Simmons, just to kind of like rattle off the top. Guys like that are hitting free agency that I want to see the Raiders target, because that's what our secondary is missing. Some veteran leadership, some continuity, some guy that's going to get in there, be in there every snap, and be good at his job to be on the back end and save things and communicate, do things like that. I'm going to get into more detail of guys. I have my eye on a lot of guys. I'm going to save that for more in-depth stuff through the offseason when we're talking secondary. And one bullet point I want to see, hey, I think it's time we look for an offensive tackle. Trent Brown, who knows what is going on there. His status is up in the air, in my opinion, for 2021. And even if it wasn't, our offensive line struggled big time when he wasn't in there. So we need a young guy or a solid offensive tackle to add in free agency that can back up Trent Brown to the very least, to step in whenever we need him. Now, we're going to be looking at while we're talking Trent Brown, while I already mentioned there could be the possibility of a Gabe Jackson or incognito contract that could be expendable, I'm also looking at the contracts of Tyrell Williams, because right now our cap space predicted for next year is -$8 million. We can look at Williams' contract, which is $11.5 million. Mariota's $10.5 million. Joyner over $11 million, but I think it's like $2.5 million dead money, so maybe it's like $8, almost $9 million. I think you could free up with LaMarcus Joyner. Gabe Jackson $9.5 million and incognito $6.5 million. Trent Brown also no dead money, $14 million. There's a lot of contracts that you can move around. I'm not saying every single one of those you move around, but I think we can easily free up $35 million in cap space. That's enough to pay Agholor. That's enough to add some veteran presence, more in the defense, and of course, pay all of our rookies. I'd say probably the most important right now, what we need to do is nail our defensive coordinator signing, and that's going to happen quick. The process already pretty much started today. We're doing interviews with defensive coordinators, and I expect it to happen by this time next week. We're going to know who our defensive coordinator is, and then I'll make my comments on who that's going to be. Gus Bradley could be a dude. Wade Phillips, I know, is in conversation. There's a lot of different things. Even Rod Marinelli's son-in-law. I'm not a guy that wants to hire friends and family, especially because Jon Gruden's already had a little bit of a bad track record whenever it comes to hiring friends or family in that case, right? But we'll see what the defensive coordinator is, and then we'll give our opinions on who that signing is. And hopefully we're making the best choice, out there. Obviously they're getting the conversations with him, so we'll see what happens. But that's the most important thing to me right now going into the 2021 season, because players can't overcome bad coaching, right? It just doesn't work like that. Bad players can be overcome with good coaching. That works. You can have a good coach out there, and you have struggling personnel. You can still have a solid unit, but you just can't overcome bad coaching. So I want to see a good defensive coordinator in there, and definitely whenever we're looking at draft, I want to see us bring in some young, fresh pass rushers. That's gonna be my final point for the 2021 offseason. Max Crosby has been out there just working his tail off, giving 100% effort all of the time, and we need to bring him some help, whether that's up in the interior, get a young defensive tackle to go in there and match up with Mo Hurst and Jonathan Hankins, guys like that, or even maybe a third down guy that can play Arden Key's role just a little bit better. So like I said, guys, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and like I said, I want to talk to you guys about these headphones, so be right back. What's going on, Raider Nation? I got a new product here for you guys, especially my podcast and YouTube video lovers like me, or someone that's always on the go, right? Whenever you're always on the go and you love listening to your podcast or your favorite albums, you're a music junkie maybe, you need a good wireless earbud. And I chose the X-Fyro AI-powered noise cancellation earbuds. And these things are amazing. It's a good sleek design. It's a good color. Black. That's what we love, Raider Nation, right? So for me, like I said, I'm always on the go. I like a good carrying case. This carrying case does the job, holds a good charge. It's powered by the good USB-C charging technology, so it charges fast. Great case. I absolutely love it. The noise cancellation technology in these things is amazing. I'm able to tune out everything that's going on around me, and the battery life has been lasting me all day, every single day that I've tried these. X-Fyro even has other products. You can visit the link in the description to see some of these, but there's the XS2, there's the Aria, and then there's the ANC Pro, which has like a 100-hour battery life, which is completely nuts. So like I said, the brand is X-Fyro. Kind of new to me. But definitely worth it. These are definitely affordable headphones, and well worth it. I love all the light indicators that tell you pretty much everything that's going on with battery life. The connection process for both Android and iPhone for these things is amazing, quick, responsive. As soon as you pop these things in your ear, you're ready to go. So Raider Nation, like I said, it's time to get lost in your favorite album or podcast, tune out the noise, and get things going with X-Fyro. Yeah. So there you have it. You can get those headphones in the links in the description. 15% off using promo code RaiderCody. So visit the website, promo code RaiderCody. BetOnline.ag using promo code RaiderCody as well. They match 50% of your first deposit. You put in $200, they're going to deposit an extra $100 for you to bet with. But Raider Nation, we're jumping into this 2021 season. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of things happening. Right now, the only thing I'm looking forward to, like I said, having Charles Woodson named as a nominee would be amazing to have him as a first ballot Hall of Famer, and Tom Flores, who very much needs to get in the Hall of Fame right now. Don't give him the Cliff Branch or the Ken Stabler treatment. We need to get Tom Flores in the Hall of Fame, and we're going to keep campaigning for this Raider Nation. So be ready for some more stuff on that, and be ready to just be screaming your brains out to get Tom Flores in the Hall of Fame this year. So Raider Nation, that's going to be it for now. Until next time, like I said, subscribe, bell notifications. I'll see you guys later.